Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna talk about 10 tips you can use to save fuel. So basically, without further ado, let's jump right into it.
Tip 1. Make fewer trips.
Did you know that when you drive a car that has been parked for like a few hours, the engine is cold and it needs more fuel to start rolling again? Ideally, if you would combine your daily errands, combine them all into one big trip, you know? Don't use your car if you just want to go out and go to the shop or get your newspaper, if you know what I'm saying. So that is tip 1 to save fuel. So let's move on to the second tip.
Tip 2. Don't drive in the rush hour.
So basically, there are worse places to spend your time in actually like a traffic jam. So basically, anytime you start and stop at a red light, your car needs fuel again to start rolling. So like driving a little bit slower and instead of like just accelerating will reduce fuel usage. So basically, make sure you do all of that, because that's tip 2, like how to save fuel. So let's move on to the third tip.
Tip 3. Close all windows.
If you have your windows open, you get a lot of wind like in your car, which also, if the wind is like not in the direction of your car, if you know what I'm trying to say, you know, the wind gets into the car and it slows your car down, which makes it more expensive to run. So make sure you close all your windows, but then just because you don't have all this wind like pulling your car back and make it as sleek as possible. So make sure to close all your windows. So basically, let's move on to tip 4.
Tip 4. Remove the roof rack.
Remove the roof rack, because this is actually like the same kind of problem with the windows open, because it's like it has a lot of weight on your car, and you know it catches all of this wind that makes your car run expensive. So make sure it's like the window system. So basically, get it off your roof because it catches wind and it slows your car down. So make sure to do that. So let's move on to tip 5.
Tip 5. Don't carry unnecessary weight.
Let's say you have like your golf caddy and everything but you don't need that stuff like within the week, but you still have it in the back of your car. That's also making reduce, you know, it's gonna, anytime the car gets more heavy, it's gonna take more fuel, because your car needs more fuel to travel all that stuff around. So let's move on to tip 6.
Tip 6. Accelerate smoothly.
Perfect way to drive is about the speed like 50 miles an hour. It's unrealistic to avoid, you know, overtaking, because the harder you go on like short places, you're gonna use more fuel. But if you just drive like a normal speed, you won't increase your fuel usage, because you're not like driving you know, like 70 miles an hour, because that needs more fuel. So let's move on to tip 7.
Tip 7. Don't push the accelerator down too far.
This one always surprises people. It's not just to do with like in what gear your car in. You may be in high gear and traveling, you know, at a sensible speed. Avoid changing, you know, to switch to a lower gear, like into the 3rd or the 4th one, for example, because then you're using more fuel, not less. So make sure to do that. So let's move on to tip 8.
Tip 8. Turn the air conditioning off.
Turn the air conditioning off, because it's tempting, you know, that you have your air conditioning on like all the time, but you need to think about the temperature in your car. That actually needs kind of better fuel. So also make sure to do that. You don't have your air conditioning on like when you're driving with weather that is not needed to. So let's move on to tip 9.
Tip 9. Stick to the speed limit.
Stick to the speed limit means that, you know, just keep your car at a certain speed. Although you might, you know, arrive at a place that took you like 20 minutes to get there on like a 200 miles an hour, in comparison with like a trip where you drove like 80 or 70 miles per hour. It's using more fuel as you use it. So let's move on to tip 10.
Tip 10. Check your tire pressure regularly.
Check your tire pressure levels regularly. The lower the pressure, the more fuel it needs to, you know, drive your car down the road. I recommend that you should like maybe like take 5 minutes like every fortnight to check the tires. So that's what I would suggest to you guys. And I'll be having a video up next week like how to check your car pressure. So make sure to subscribe so you guys won't miss out that video next week. So that's it for this video, guys. If you want to see more of these car tutorials every Monday and Friday at 9 PM CET, that's 12 PM PST, feel free to subscribe down below. And as I always say, thank you guys for liking and commenting on this video. And I'll see you guys next week. I'm gonna give you guys 6 tips for beginner drivers.
My name's LTHH Official.
As always.
Yeah.
And I upload one video every day of the week, except on Saturday and Sunday.
I'm just gonna start streaming live. First question for today. So that's gonna be through this hall. It's gonna be pretty dark. So we have the door. Feature your comment or your question. And I'll see you guys in the next video.